Boom! We're back. Most card tricks force you into a choice. This one doesn't. We can shuffle the deck, cut anywhere, even decide how far to go, and somehow we always land on your exact card. And then we double it and give it to the next person. Let me show you something that honestly shouldn't even be possible. We'll start by taking the cards right out of the tuck box. Oh, there's a card left remaining in here. The ace of spades. What are the chances? Take this box, pop it off to the side. And as always, we begin by giving the deck a shuffle. Now, you're gonna need to excuse me. It's been quite some time since I've actually handled playing cards, so my shuffling skills are subpar, if even close to subpar. Once we have the deck shuffle, I'm gonna spread the cards like this. You have a free choice of whatever card you wanna select. Let's say this card over here. Take a look at that beauty and memorize it, right? Once you have that memorized, let me actually square all this up. I'm gonna shuffle the cards off like this, just chunks at a time. You call it stop whenever your heart desires. Right here, okay, we'll take this card, right? That is your card. Place it right at that position, smash it somewhere in the center. And now I want both of us to be happy. You can give the deck a cut, I can give the deck a cut. You can give the deck a cut, I can give the deck a cut, right? We can just go back and forth like this pretty much all day long until we're all satisfied. Now from this point, I like to do something that's kind of fun, at least for me. I like to cut the deck and give it what's known as the perfect shuffle, all right? Not the average shuffle, not the somewhat close to perfect shuffle, but this is the perfect shuffle because cards go in together almost perfectly. It takes a bit of practice, but there we go. There we go. Right here, check it out. There we go, the perfect riffle. Now, from this position, I want you to cut off a small packet of cards anywhere from the top of the deck. Let's just say right around here, right? Put this off to the side and take a look at the next card. It is a 2. I want you to double it and give it to the next. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We have a 2 here, but I do want you to double it. The double of 2 is 4, so I want you to take the deck, count off to 4. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th card is your selection, the 5 of hearts. Boom. What up, crew? Great to be making content again. A lot of fun stuff and changes coming up, but we'll just start with this video. If you don't know what's going on here, it feels impossible, but once you understand it, you'll see that it's one of the smartest self-working concepts you'll ever learn. So come in close. Wait, hold back. That's too close. Come in close and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Now this effect is known as cut and double count because you cut the deck, then you double it, and then you count down to your card. There is a prereq needed for this effect, and that's the Pharaoh, or you should be able to riffle cards together without too many issues. Now there is a small setup that's required, so I want you to grab a 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and ace. Now these don't have to be of the same suit, these don't have to be, I guess they need to be ace through 7, but you could even do ace through 8, ace through 10, whatever you want to do, but the more cards you use, it's going to be more of a requirement to be able to do the Pharaoh. So you want to take all these cards, pile them up, 7 with the cards face down, 7's in the back, and ace is on the bottom, right? Now you're also gonna grab one additional card from the deck, and you're gonna make a very light crimp on, for me, I'm gonna make it on the bottom left-hand side of the deck because that's generally where I cut, but based on if you're lefty or righty, you can make it wherever is the most comfortable. You're gonna come to the bottom left-hand corner here and just make a small pinch like this. So you can see that it stands out a very small amount. So if I were to put this card now in the deck somewhere in the center, let's say right around here, you can see where that card is because of that crimp. And you'll be able to easily cut to that location. So you want to put the crimped card right on the bottom of the deck, then take your pile of 7, put it right on the bottom as well, and now you're all set to begin. To start, of course, I like to give the deck a false shuffle. You can choose to do or not do this, but I think it sells the effect a lot better. What I'm doing is a controlled overhand shuffle. And the way that it works is I'm passing over cards like this. Once I get to a bottom packet of about, let's say 10 to 12 cards, I toss this packet a bit further up like so. Then I push up here, right? Just like this. I push up here, make sure to grab that ace, wherever that is. Put the cards or let the cards drop into your hand again as you come over for a second shuffle. So up to speed, it should look like you're doing the shuffle. As you come to the bottom, you throw a bit further up, then you grab the cards, everything below it, and do a shuffle again, maintaining that whole packet on the bottom with 1 through or ace through 7, and your crimped card there as well. All right, so now you've done the shuffle. The crimped card, of course, keep in mind, is on the bottom left-hand side for me, or wherever you want to make that for you. I'm going to make this crimp a little bit bigger so it's easier for you to see. There we go right there. Now you have the spectator pick out whatever card they want. And when I say whatever card they want, I mean from somewhere in the center, because that's what I open up and that's what I push towards them. And they pick out a random card. Let's say it is the nine. Let's use a more fun card here. Let's use the King of Hearts. Let's actually feature these third way industry playing cards, right? So let's use the King of Hearts. Let's say that's their selected card. I personally love doing the overhand shuffle, so I start that again. I take this whole packet, I start throwing off cards a little bit at a time, right? I want to make it seem almost slow, so they're more tempted to say stop somewhere towards the center or somewhere towards the beginning or the center. And as soon as they call out stop, you take their card, King of Hearts, put it at that position, throw the rest of the cards on top. What you just did is you put that card 8 cards below the crimped card. And now, both of you can give the deck as many cuts as you'd like. Ultimately, what should end up happening is the crimped card should be cut to the bottom here, okay? Now, if the spectator does that, that's even more powerful. But if they don't cut to that crimped card, then, depending on, wherever that crimped card is, somewhere in the center, it's a lot easier to grab for you and cut at that position. So the crimped card comes to the center. And on top, you have ace through 7, followed by the selection, in this case, the King of Hearts. Now, here is where you need to be either really good at doing the riffle, or you have to be able to do the Pharaoh. Now, I made a tutorial on the Pharaoh. I'll put the link on the screen. It does take a little bit of practice, but all you really need to do is properly interleave the top 7 cards of one half with the top 7 cards of the other half, or top 8 cards of one half and top 8 cards of the other half. So top 16 cards need to be interleaved perfectly. Otherwise, this trick is not going to work. So when you do the Pharaoh, right, and like I said, I'll put the tutorial on the screen. You want to make sure it doesn't have to be perfect, but just the top 8 cards should be interleaved, or top 16 cards, technically 8 from each side, should be interleaved properly. And then you can, bridge the cards together. From this point, all really self-working. This is where the cut and count double comes into play, because you have them cut a small packet of cards. Now, there's one of two things that can happen. Either they cut from your stack of ace through 7, or they cut at another random card. If they cut to your stack, so for example, they cut here, and in this case, it's a 4. All you have to do is double it, so 8, and then count down to that number. However, if they cut here, for example, this is a random card, this is a 9. That's not within our stack. As soon as they cut that and you see that card, immediately take the next card and tell them that's their card. In this case, their card has a value of 3. So once that's happened, put it off to the side. If their card value was 3 in this case, all you have to do is count, or even better, have them count. 1, double it, 3 is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and boom, that is their King of Hearts. Now back to the other case, right? Let's say they cut it, and they cut right at that 4. Then you take a look, tell them that's the bottom card, double it, give it to the next person, and they count 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There it is, the King of Hearts. Wow. This trick is so powerful because it feels fair, but it's just structure hidden in plain sight. And if you perform this just right, people won't think it's a trick. They'll believe in doubling it and giving to the next person.